Hey everyone, welcome back. Today is part 2 of our penny shining experiment. So in part 1, a few days ago, we took some pennies that were used as pennies normally are, buying things, and we noticed that pennies get kind of dull after they're used for a while. They get to be really a different color. And so we used vinegar and salt to clean that color off and make them shine like copper, like they shine when they are new. And then at the end, we put the pennies back into a container with a paper towel that had been soaked with that same vinegar and salt solution. And we were going to think about what happened. And so at the end of the video last time, I asked you to think about what happens when something metal stays outside for a long time. So let's say you went for a ride on your bike and then you forgot to take it in, and then it started raining, as it does here in Seattle often. And then you left it out there for a while, you kind of just forgot about it. And then you wanted to use it again. Well, what happened? What did you find? So if you thought about that and you decided that the bike rusts, then that's exactly what I was looking for. And so pennies kind of do the same thing. So if you'll get your pennies, we will take a look at what happened. All right, so I'm going to open up my container here and we will see what we get. Definitely smells like vinegar. Wow, those are green. Those are really, really green. One side is not green there, as you can see, but everything else is really, really green. I'll bring that a little closer there. So this is a chemical reaction that is similar to what we were talking about with the bike and the moisture and the metal from the bike. So this side of the penny didn't have much of that moisture on it. This side was covered in it. And as you can see, pretty much all of the other sides of all of these pennies were covered in it too. So we can clean that stuff off just like we did the last time, but that's what happens when you leave pennies in salt and vinegar. All right, so that's pretty cool, huh? So if you want to shine your pennies back up like they were at the end of the last lesson, then you can just use that same vinegar and salt solution and soak them for a couple of minutes and then brush them off with a toothbrush. Now, what is this called? Well, we talked about if you left your bike outside. A bike's made of metal, right? And it's left outside in the air, which has oxygen in it. And then in the air, and especially in Seattle air, there's also moisture. And so there's a name for this process, and it is called oxidation. Now this is a word that we won't get too into, but basically what it means is we have a metal, we have air or oxygen, and we have moisture. And if you combine those three things, then we get oxidation. And that means that the metal sort of changes. There's a chemical reaction that takes place. And so we can see that when something rusts, when a bike rusts, or when those pennies change from that shiny copper color into that bluish greenish color after it has some salt and air and moisture. So that's your new word for today. That's pretty much what you need to know about it for a while. Oxidation is metal plus air, oxygen, plus moisture. All right, so you can continue that process as many times as you want. You can keep shining them and then oxidizing them. You might also, just to try, you could leave your pennies in that salt and vinegar solution for maybe a couple of days and see what happens. I'm not really sure what would happen, to be honest. It might react quite a bit. It might sort of clean all the copper off and get down to the next layer. I don't know. Or it might stay at the layer once it's cleaned off kind of the gunk. I'm not sure, but that'd be something to try. So if you try that, let me know how it goes. You can comment on the video below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in today.